Learn English through Cinderella's story. Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom, there lived a kind and beautiful girl named Cinderella. After her mother passed away, her father remarried a cold-hearted woman who had two daughters of her own. Sadly, Cinderella's father also died soon after, leaving her at the mercy of her wicked stepmother and stepsisters. They were jealous of Cinderella's beauty and kind nature, so they forced her to do all the housework and treated her like a servant. Cinderella spent her days cleaning, cooking, and tending to her stepfamily's every need. No matter how hard her life became, she remained gentle and hopeful. Her only friends were the animals in the house, who tried to bring her comfort. One day, the king of the land announced a grand ball to find a bride for his son, the prince. Every young woman in the kingdom was invited. Cinderella longed to go, but her stepmother gave her so many chores that she couldn't even think about preparing for the ball. And, even worse, when the day of the ball arrived, her stepmother and stepsisters left her behind dressed in their finest gowns, while Cinderella sat by the fireplace in rags, crying. Suddenly, a bright light filled the room, and a kind fairy godmother appeared. She told Cinderella that she could go to the ball, but only with a little magic. With a wave of her wand, the fairy godmother turned a pumpkin into a splendid carriage, mice into horses, and Cinderella's ragged clothes into a magnificent gown. On her feet were the most beautiful glass slippers anyone had ever seen. But the magic came with a warning. It would only last until midnight. After that, everything would return to its original form. Overjoyed, Cinderella went to the ball. When she arrived, the whole palace was captivated by her beauty, especially the prince, who danced with her all evening. They talked and laughed, and Cinderella felt as though she were in a dream. But just before midnight, Cinderella remembered the fairy godmother's warning and rushed out of the palace, leaving behind one of her glass slippers. The prince was heartbroken when she disappeared, but he found the glass slipper and vowed to find the girl whose foot fit the shoe. He traveled throughout the kingdom, trying the slipper on every young woman he met, but it fit none of them. When he finally arrived at Cinderella's house, the stepsisters tried to fit into the shoe, but their feet were too big. Cinderella, who had been watching from the shadows, stepped forward and asked if she could try. The stepmother and stepsisters laughed, but the prince insisted. To everyone's surprise, the slipper fit her perfectly. The prince recognized her as the mysterious girl from the ball and asked her to marry him. Cinderella's days of hardship were over. She forgave her stepfamily for their cruelty and went to live in the palace with the prince, where they lived happily ever after.